It seems nowadays that the world teaches us to focus endlessly on ourselves. In every corner of our modern existence, we are encouraged to think about what we need, we desire, and we deserve. Our advertisements, our media, our culture, all urge us to prioritize the self. But if we step back and observe this from a place of wisdom, it becomes evident. This constant self-preoccupation is not the road to happiness, fulfillment, or meaning. Let us begin by acknowledging a simple truth. The more we focus on ourselves, the more we miss out on the world around us. The more we center our thoughts on our own anxieties, worries, and desires, the less we can appreciate the beauty of life as it unfolds before us. We are blinded by our own egos, caught in an endless cycle of self-absorption that prevents us from seeing others, or even seeing the deeper significance of our own lives. You see, happiness and purpose do not come from looking inward, but from looking outward. There is an undeniable joy that arises when we shift our gaze beyond the narrow confines of our own personal struggles and instead begin to consider the needs and joys of others. When we stop thinking about ourselves, we make room for others to thrive, and in doing so, we discover that our own lives take on a greater meaning. True fulfillment is not found by focusing on what we lack, but by recognizing the abundance that surrounds us. When we turn our attention away from our own desires, we begin to see the needs of the world, the suffering of others, and the opportunities to serve and make a difference. In this act of selflessness, we become more fully human. Now, this is not to say that we should neglect our own well-being. It is vital to care for ourselves, to nourish our bodies and to nurture our minds. But there is a great difference between the healthy care of the self and the destructive obsession with the self. The former leads to growth and stability. The latter leads only to stagnation and sorrow. In truth, when we stop thinking about ourselves, we gain a deeper understanding of what it means to live with purpose. We are no longer slaves to our own whims and impulses, but free to discover what we were meant to do, what we were made to contribute, and how we can truly make a difference in this world. This is the path of fulfillment, the path where joy is found, not in accumulating things for oneself, but in giving of oneself for the good of others. So, let us break free from the shackles of self-centered thinking. Let us open our hearts to the world and to those around us. In doing so, we will not only find ourselves more fulfilled, but we will become instruments of hope, peace, and love. We will discover that the greatest life is not the one that is spent in the pursuit of personal gain, but the one that is poured out for others. Focusing on yourself and your own desires often leads to dissatisfaction, because we're constantly seeking something more. True happiness is found when we shift our focus to others, helping them, and finding joy in shared experiences. When we look outward, we create connections, and these connections bring fulfillment. When we make our lives about our own desires and needs, we can never be truly fulfilled. The self is limited. There's always something missing. Fulfillment comes from relationships, contributions, and the acts of giving, which offer a deeper sense of purpose than self-interest ever could. By constantly thinking about ourselves, our worries, our wants, we restrict our capacity to grow. Focusing on our own thoughts keeps us stuck, unable to push forward. When we step outside ourselves and focus on something greater, we unlock potential for personal growth and development that we didn't even know we had. Genuine joy comes not from satisfying our own desires, but from seeing the happiness and success of others. When we serve, support, and help others, the joy we experience is much more profound because it's connected to something beyond our personal needs. When we act selflessly, we're connecting to something much bigger than our own fleeting wants. Helping others or contributing to a cause provides a sense of meaning that self-interest cannot offer. It creates lasting value and brings clarity about what truly matters in life. Self-absorption blinds us to the world around us. We become consumed by our own issues and desires, failing to see the beauty in others and the opportunities for growth outside ourselves. When we stop focusing inward, we begin to notice what we've been missing, the needs, struggles, and joys of those around us. The more we fixate on ourselves, the more dissatisfaction grows. The mind becomes trapped in a cycle of not enough because self-centered thinking perpetuates feelings of inadequacy. True satisfaction comes from turning our thoughts toward others and the greater purpose we serve. When we are consumed by our own struggles, they seem larger than life. But when we step outside of ourselves and focus on helping others, our own problems shrink. Serving others offers perspective and helps us realize that our personal challenges aren't the end of the world. Our personal desires are narrow and limited compared to the richness of the world. There's a vast array of experiences, emotions, and connections that are available when we stop focusing on satisfying ourselves and begin to embrace the world's diversity. By opening our hearts to the greater world, we enrich our lives in ways we can't achieve by just pursuing our own desires. We often wonder about our purpose, but it's not something that's found through self-exploration alone. True purpose is discovered in serving others, in finding ways to make a difference in the lives of those around us. The act of caring for others often leads to the revelation of what we are truly meant to do. Life's true purpose isn't fulfilled by chasing personal desires or accumulating possessions. It's about contributing to the well-being of others. When we shift our focus from self-centered goals to the welfare of others, we experience fulfillment in a way that material desires never can. By focusing on the needs and well-being of others, you enrich your own life with deeper relationships, purpose, and meaning. When we stop making ourselves the center of the universe, we open ourselves up to richer experiences and connections that bring fulfillment beyond what we could have imagined. The key to feeling truly fulfilled is not pursuing your own desires or dreams relentlessly, but rather in focusing on the welfare of others. Selflessness opens the door to personal growth and gives us the peace that comes from knowing we are contributing to the greater good. The satisfaction that comes from helping others is deep and lasting, unlike the fleeting satisfaction we get from fulfilling our own selfish needs. Acts of service create a sense of purpose and meaning, whereas focusing only on yourself often leaves you feeling empty. When we are overly focused on our own struggles, desires, or achievements, we stop growing, we stagnate, because our energy is consumed by our own concerns, instead of using that energy to grow, learn, and contribute to the world around us. When we are trapped in self-centered thinking, we miss the potential to make a real impact on the world. The energy that could be used to help others is instead wasted on personal gain. To unlock our fullest potential and create meaningful change, we must think beyond ourselves. While receiving can provide momentary pleasure, the joy that comes from giving is deeper and longer lasting. Giving to others, whether it's time, resources, or love, brings a sense of fulfillment that is unattainable through self-centered accumulation. If we stop chasing personal gain, whether it's wealth, status, or recognition, we free ourselves to pursue something far more meaningful, contributing to the well-being of others and making a lasting impact. Personal gain is shallow, but contributing to a greater cause gives life purpose. When we stop focusing solely on ourselves, we allow our hearts to expand. We make room for empathy, compassion, and love for others. This outward focus deepens our capacity to care and connect, making us more compassionate and open-hearted people. The more we focus on our own desires and challenges, the less we see the world in all its beauty and potential. When we stop thinking about ourselves, we begin to notice the wonders around us, whether it's nature, the people we interact with, or the potential for goodness in the world. Looking beyond ourselves helps us see life more clearly and appreciate the richness of existence. Jerome, the Gospel Community of Jesus Christ. True freedom is not about doing whatever we want, when we want. It's found in the ability to serve others without being bound by selfish desires. When we choose to live for others, we free ourselves from the constraints of ego and the endless chase for personal gratification. Embracing a life full of purpose and connection, fulfillment is not something we can force by chasing it for ourselves. Instead, it's a natural outcome of focusing on the needs of others and contributing to their well-being. The more we give of ourselves, the more we find that fulfillment comes not through self-obsession, but in service and love toward others. The most rewarding moments in life come when we are engaged in something greater than our own desires. When we dedicate our lives to a cause, a purpose, or others, we experience a deeper sense of meaning that makes our own struggles feel smaller and more manageable, adding greater value to our existence. Obsession with the self leads to constant dissatisfaction. The pursuit of happiness becomes a never-ending cycle. True happiness is found when we stop being obsessed with our own desires and instead focus on contributing to others, building relationships, and living with purpose beyond ourselves. Our purpose in life is not to exist for ourselves, but to give of ourselves to others. True fulfillment is found in self-giving, whether through love, kindness, service, or sharing our resources. When we turn inward, we stifle our own potential. But when we focus outwardly, we discover our deeper purpose and connect with others meaningfully. Selfish desires can cloud our vision, keeping us from seeing our true purpose. When we let go of these narrow desires, we make room for something greater, a life dedicated to helping others and living with intention. Only by relinquishing self-centered thinking can we uncover the purpose we were meant to fulfill. The meaning of life comes not from the accumulation of personal achievements or possessions, but from our capacity to serve, love, and contribute. When we think beyond our own needs and desires, we begin to see a broader perspective and connect to the deeper, more meaningful aspects of life. Caring for others is one of the best ways to grow as a person. It challenges us to develop empathy, patience, and selflessness. When we focus on the needs of others, we also improve ourselves, becoming more compassionate, wise, and fulfilled. Service to others becomes a path of personal transformation. Stepping outside of our own limited view opens up new perspectives and opportunities for growth. When we focus solely on ourselves, we remain confined to our own small world. By thinking beyond ourselves and engaging with others, we create space for deeper learning, broader experiences, and personal growth. The self is fragile, constantly shifting and changing with the circumstances of life. However, true meaning and purpose come from the connections we form with others. It's through our relationships, our shared experiences, and our contributions to the lives of others that we find our greatest sense of purpose. Caring for others brings a profound sense of fulfillment because it allows us to live beyond our own desires and contribute to the well-being of those around us. This selflessness not only makes a positive impact on others, but also fills our hearts with satisfaction that selfish pursuits cannot provide. Focusing on our own discomforts often leads to self-pity and inaction. When we shift our focus from our own struggles to the needs of others, we begin to find ways to help alleviate their pain or discomfort. In serving others, we often find healing for ourselves as well. Life is fleeting, and spending too much time trapped in our own thoughts, anxieties, or desires limits our ability to truly experience and appreciate life. We should seek to break free from excessive introspection and use our time to engage with the world, connect with others, and live fully. When we stop focusing solely on our own needs and start paying attention to the needs of others, we create a sense of joy in our hearts. Helping others, showing kindness, and building relationships bring lasting happiness as we experience the joy of making a positive difference in the lives of others. Many of life's struggles stem from an excessive focus on the self. Our fears, insecurities, and desires. By shifting our focus outward, we break free from self-imposed limitations and start to find solutions by contributing to the lives of others. Focusing less on ourselves often reveals new opportunities for growth and peace. The beauty of life is magnified when we open our hearts to others, sharing in their joys and sorrows. True beauty is found not in isolation but in connection. When we share our experiences, love, and compassion, we deepen our understanding of life's richness. Our most authentic and powerful selves emerge when we step out of the narrow confines of self-centered thinking. By thinking less about our own desires and more about how we can serve or contribute to the greater good, we unlock a deeper potential within ourselves, one that is centered on purpose, empathy, and connection. True personal growth comes not from self-indulgence or constant self-improvement, but from serving others. When we help others, we learn new perspectives, develop compassion, and grow in wisdom. Our greatest transformation happens when we focus on others' needs rather than our own. Happiness is not something that can be directly pursued. It arises naturally when we forget our own desires and focus on making the world a better place for others. By contributing to the happiness and well-being of others, we often find that our own happiness is fulfilled in the process. The most enriching and fulfilling experiences in life are those that are shared with others. Whether it's through deep conversations, acts of kindness, or shared goals, connecting with others creates experiences that are much more meaningful than anything we could experience in isolation. Relationships and human connection are the foundation of the richest experiences in life. When we are focused on our own desires, we often fail to notice the abundance that surrounds us. Selfishness narrows our perspective, causing us to miss opportunities for growth, connection, and generosity. By shifting our focus to others, we begin to see the world in all its richness and possibility. True purpose is not discovered through constantly seeking to fulfill our own needs or desires. It emerges when we give of ourselves, whether through time, energy, or love. When we focus on making a difference in others' lives, we find a deeper sense of meaning and fulfillment that self-obsession can never provide. When we choose to care for others, our own lives become brighter because we experience the joy of helping and connecting with others. Caring for others shifts our focus from the negative and challenging aspects of our own lives to the positive impact we can have on those around us. Personal happiness isn't something that can be pursued directly by making it the center of our existence. Instead, when we stop focusing solely on our own happiness and begin to care for others, happiness naturally grows as a byproduct of our selflessness and the positive connections we create. Focusing solely on our own concerns can make life feel shallow as we become consumed with personal worries and desires. When we look beyond ourselves, we begin to see the richness of life, others' stories, opportunities to serve, and experiences that add depth to our own existence. Our deepest purpose is often found in selflessness, in choosing to live for others and contributing to the greater good. When we stop seeking personal gain and focus on how we can help others, we uncover the true meaning and fulfillment that comes with living a life of service and compassion. Life truly begins when we stop focusing so much on ourselves and open ourselves up to the world around us. The act of letting go of self-centered thinking allows us to fully engage in life, embracing new experiences, relationships, and opportunities that bring us closer to living a rich and meaningful life. Generosity leads to a deeper sense of fulfillment than accumulating wealth or possessions ever will. While personal accumulation is temporary, generosity creates lasting joy, enriches our relationships, and brings purpose to our lives. Giving to others offers a sense of connection and satisfaction that self-centered pursuits cannot match. The meaning of life comes from giving of ourselves to others. When we dedicate our time, energy, and resources to causes beyond our own needs, we create a life filled with purpose. Our lives become richer and more meaningful when we focus on contributing to others' well-being. The truest, most authentic version of ourselves is revealed when we serve others. Service challenges us to go beyond selfish desires and act out of compassion, empathy, and kindness. It is through selflessness and contributing to the greater good that we discover our true purpose and identity. True strength is not measured by our ability to protect and defend ourselves, but by our capacity to extend help to others, even at our own expense. Helping others, even when it's difficult, demonstrates courage, resilience, and a deep sense of compassion. It's through giving that we unlock our true strength. A life lived solely for oneself often feels shallow and unsatisfying. Purpose comes when we stop prioritizing our own needs and desires and begin focusing on the well-being of others. By contributing to the greater good, we align ourselves with a deeper, more fulfilling purpose. When we are caught up in self-interest, we limit our capacity to truly love and connect with others. Love requires us to look beyond ourselves and care for others without expecting anything in return. Self-interest creates barriers, while selflessness opens our hearts to deeper, more meaningful connections. Constantly focusing on our own struggles can create anxiety and stress. However, when we shift our attention to the needs of others, we find peace. Helping others in their time of need allows us to gain perspective, ease our own burdens, and find a deeper sense of inner peace and fulfillment. The act of giving brings true purpose as it connects us with others and makes a meaningful impact in the world. Self-serving pursuits, on the other hand, may offer temporary pleasure, but ultimately leave us feeling empty. Giving to others, whether through time, effort, or love, gives our lives greater meaning and fulfillment. The pursuit of greatness becomes counterproductive when we focus solely on our own achievements. True greatness arises when we focus on elevating others and contributing to their success. By letting go of the obsession with our own greatness, we create space for true leadership, impact, and personal development. Self-centered thinking binds us to a cycle of dissatisfaction and limitation. True freedom comes when we release ourselves from this narrow perspective and open ourselves to the needs of others. By focusing on others' well-being, we find a sense of liberation and fulfillment that self-absorption can never provide. Serving others is not just beneficial to those we help, it also helps us heal ourselves. Focusing on the needs of others puts our own struggles into perspective and allows us to find purpose and healing through the act of giving. Service fosters compassion, resilience, and emotional growth, helping us overcome our own challenges. A life that is centered around serving and caring for others is filled with meaning and purpose. By focusing on how we can impact the lives of those around us, we move beyond selfish pursuits and create a life that is rich with connection, significance, and fulfillment. Happiness is not truly complete until it is shared. When we share our happiness, whether through kind words, generosity, or support, we multiply it. The true potential of our lives is realized not through self-centered pursuits, but through the act of serving others. Serving others allows us to tap into qualities like compassion, empathy, and resilience, which are key to unlocking our deepest abilities and becoming the best version of ourselves. End quote. Here is Joe. Chasing self-fulfillment can often feel like an endless pursuit with little satisfaction. True purpose is found when we stop trying to fulfill our own desires and focus instead on serving others and contributing to the well-being of the world. By living for others, we naturally find a deeper sense of meaning and direction. Love is most powerfully expressed when we stop focusing on our own needs and begin prioritizing the needs of others. The greatest act of love is putting the well-being of others before our own, showing care and compassion without expecting anything in return. Giving isn't just a way to help others, it is also a pathway to personal growth. Every time we give, whether it's our time, resources, or love, we expand our own capacities. Giving forces us to step outside of our own limitations and experience growth in new and profound ways. Joy is not found in receiving or in transactions where we expect something in return. The deepest form of joy comes when we serve others without any expectations. Selfless service, where we give freely and without conditions, brings us a happiness that is far more fulfilling than anything self-centered pursuits can offer. When we live for others, we imbue our daily lives with meaning and purpose. Every moment becomes an opportunity to make a difference, whether through small acts of kindness or larger contributions to others' well-being. This outward focus brings a deeper sense of purpose to everything we do. Instead of obsessing over our own place or status in life, we should focus on how we can improve the world around us. Worrying about our own achievements and position can keep us stuck. By turning our attention to making a positive impact on others, we become a part of something much larger and more fulfilling. When we forget about our own desires and challenges, we allow ourselves to live a rich and full life. This self-forgetfulness leads to an increased capacity for love, service, and connection with others, all of which bring depth and richness to our experiences. Self-centered thinking erects barriers between us and others, isolating us in our own world. On the other hand, selflessness creates bridges. It fosters connection, understanding, and empathy. By looking beyond ourselves, we open ourselves to building deeper relationships and forming more meaningful connections. Trying to control every aspect of our lives create stress and anxiety. True peace comes when we let go of the need to control everything and allow life to unfold as it will. By focusing on how we can serve others and live with purpose, we find peace in accepting life's flow, trusting that we can contribute meaningfully without needing to dictate every outcome.